We're going to do a spotlight interview, Clean Energy for the New Digital Economy. I would like to invite to the stage for a chat Nopadej Karnasutta, Co-President for Thailand Business and Energy and Industrial Solutions at BGRIM. Please give a round of applause to our next speaker, who I invite to the stage. Welcome. Please come join us. So we're off to a robust start. The audience is brimming with energy, as you can tell.
Yes, indeed.
And which is only appropriate because as one of Thailand's long-standing corporate stars, you are know a lot about energy and can supply it. But what can you do about the hot topic of the day? I travel the world, and what everyone wants to know about is AI. What is AI going to do for us? Is AI going to take our jobs? How can I keep my kids from using AI and not doing any homework? But of course, as far as we are at a sustainability event, what we're most interested in is how will we power the AI? This is a subject of great controversy around the world. I was at Davos recently, and I'd shared a session with the head of the IMF, the president of Microsoft, and some CEOs, and big differences of opinion about how will the AI be powered? What will be the impact on sustainability? So I'm curious to know, what is your perspective on this topic?
Yes, first of all, very good morning to everyone, and thank you for having me here. So in terms of the organization today, we have seen that a lot of transformation has been happened from light industry to the heavy industries. We have seen that the change of the development is coming from big data and also from the AI. About 36% has been growing in terms of the hyperscaler cloud services and also in terms of the generative AI over the next 10 years from now. And that actually has kind of driving the change that's happening around the world. We have seen that the usage of the cloud services in different regions from the US has been around $140 of the cloud usage per capita. In Europe, around $40 per capita. But for Asia Pacific alone, it's only around $7 per capita. So still leaving an enormous growth potential in terms of the growing of the AI.
So there's a real chance to leapfrog in this area.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm very much bullish and very enlightenment to have this opportunity to be happening in terms of driving in this region. But how actually to be able to make it happen?
Yes.
The key is definitely a power.
Yeah.
Besides other infrastructure development that needed. The power itself, people have talking about green energy alone, but most of their data centers definitely needed the access power generation. So the power itself actually has somewhat limited in many countries. I think due to the energy transition that happened, due to the limited site location, the concession of the grid connection. So how we can actually make this happen? Definitely we need to put hands together between public and private to make this development to be happen.
So I want to dig into that a little bit on what your strategy is, but just to give some global perspective, it's one more time where we have the best of times and the worst of times, as it were. One of the positive aspects of AI as it relates to energy is that the big tech companies that are driving the global push towards AI have committed by and large, to net zero targets. In the case of Microsoft, even net negative targets. And they proved something like the rich green uncle that turned up because they're willing to overpay or pay generously for clean energy, especially if you can provide clean, firm energy, 24/7 clean power. They're willing to pay, they're willing to do advanced market commitments for novel technologies like hot rocks geothermal or small modular reactors, and to help promote clean technologies. That's the good news. However, there is a challenge here, and that is there's sometimes not enough power, or it's intermittent. There isn't adequate battery storage, perhaps, to provide that firmness that we need for these hyperscalers. And when Google published it's the most transparent of these companies, its global carbon footprint of its data centers around the world, the place where it had the least sustainable was here in Asia, where the greatest penetration of fossil energy is used. And so that's why I put to you, you're in the heart of this. What can you do to bring lower carbon footprint to these data centers that are coming and should expand in this region, given that there is a preponderance of fossil energy in this area?
Right. As I mentioned a bit of how the collaboration between public and private need to be happened, it's starting from the beginning is to have the right policy that has been given to to each countries, which I would say that every country has its own target, the carbon neutrality or the net zeros in a certain period of time. Right. For Thailand, actually, we have been giving the net zero carbon neutrality of 2065, which actually we have been committed to make this happen. But how to make it happen, actually, the regulation also needs to be happened.
So you'd like to see market-driven.
In many countries, we have seen that happening.
Yeah.
I think in the developed countries, the liberalization of the market has been enable the transmission of the renewable energies, to the site, the traceability of how actually the renewable can actually sourcing is coming from.
Now, there's obviously a vast potential for renewable energy in Southeast Asia, but we do have a challenge of intermittency and the grid connections.
Exactly.
You talked about the grids. What do you do about intermittency?
So first, the technology needs to be in place. The grid connection also needs to be in place. So the technology itself, we actually have seen the development of, the renewable energy from solar, from wind, but intermittent source of energy, as you mentioned, has been challenging. How to make it reliable, stable as the primary sources. The battery storage has been substantially reduced over the past few years.
You mean the cost of battery storage is falling?
The price has been
dramatically,
like 50% down from the past 5 or 6 years.
But this is grid scale storage, probably lithium based.
Yes, indeed.
As opposed to pump storage, which is most of the world's energy storage at the moment.
We require, like data centers today, we require 100 or more than 1,000 megawatts, like capacity. Yeah. So I think the size of the grid scales need to be also enhanced. The ability to capture, the ability to make it reliable. So the pricing definitely is a key to drive that. I believe that one of the geopolitical issues that happening also can be part of this driving towards the cost reduction.
You talked about public-private cooperation, and here I want to mention to my audience, I had promised to come for questions. I'm going to come in just a moment, so please collect your thoughts. Let's get our microphone runners ready. The role of regulation. Deregulation we talked about, but in Singapore we had the opposite in a way, and that is, if I remember correctly, there was a ban on new data centers, but then it was lifted with stiff efficiency rules. That is, only green data centers could start. Do you see a role for that sort of government spur towards efficiency? What's your perspective on that?
On the efficiency side, right?
On regulations mandating efficiency of data centers.
Yes. Let's say in Thailand, we have been promoting, in terms of the government incentivize through the Board of Investment to have the tax exemption over 8 years. And also there are attraction from the data centers coming. Today, we have around 100 megawatts or so. But in the next 10 years from now, we see a huge potential growth of data center demand, more than 2,000 megawatts of capacity that has been already been committed. But how actually that could bring about that, definitely the government actually also need to be promoting in terms of how we can able to have the able to secure the right resources, the right capacity in terms of the location, in terms of the how the how to accessible to.
So you favor carrots rather than sticks.
Exactly.
I
exactly.
understand. Okay. Let's see if we can get a question or two. Hands up. Who's going to be the courageous one and win my gold star for being our first questioner from the audience? Let's maybe there we go. There's a leader, a future leader, I'm sure, of sustainability in the region here. A couple of ground rules, of course. Please identify yourself and your affiliation, and make it a good question rather than a long-winded speech.
I'll try my best. Yeah, my name is Richard Tyson. My company's name Ecosystems. We focus on supply chain management. And I just want to speak about, because you were mentioning energy and where we're getting that from. What is Thailand really doing to address the circular economy in this region? Because I really see an opportunity as it pertains to waste and utilizing that potentially in waste energy plants or something of that nature. What is Thailand really doing? Is that something that?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Circular economy. What do you think?
About the circular economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thailand has been promoting a whole lot of the circular economy in a way that actually has not only on the supply side that we discussed, but also in terms of the demand side management. The demand side actually has coming from a number of the development on the energy efficiency side. So like what you mentioned about the data centers, how actually could actually make the energy efficient use of the water consumption that has been around the West management and so on. So I think this is something that we actually have seen development on this kind of technology shift to reduce and to ensure that the energy use has been much more efficient.
If you were to look ahead 10 years and see what could be a leapfrogging advance in circular economy, what would you like to see here? What's possible here? What can Thailand achieve?
So
And what are you investing in as a company?
Right. So in terms of the development that we actually has promoting a whole lot of the how to actually making sure that we not only generating the clean energy alone, but the key is to have the reliable, stable generation. Also has been a combination with renewable energy sources with the technology that can be embedded, like battery storage, as mentioned, be a total integrated solutions that can help the customers or like data centers to be able to achieve, the certain period of the target to reach the green data centers that they would like to have. On top of that, the demand side, which actually coming from the energy management system, the technology from this, the cooling system that has been evaporative cooling method, how they actually could ensure that we can managing with the less use of the water consumption, the energy consumption, and so on, and also can be reused and recycling among the the usage of the technology.
There's a tremendous
development
potential for much more efficiency,
change.
isn't there, in data centers? This is like the early days of the internet, where people predicted that the internet would consume half the world's coal. But of course, we found better coding, better servers, more efficient ways of making things. So we're already beginning to see a lot of this. There's a hand in the front. Could we get a microphone here, please? There we go. Thank you. Short question, short answer, please, given our time.
Sure. My name is Ibrahim Kocagöz. I'm Engineering Solutions Director of PCS, Thailand Facility Management Company. BigReam is heavily investing for the renewable energy, for the solar panels also. Is there a plan for the recyclement of the PV panels for the BigReam?
Okay.
Plus, is there any heavily investment on the solar battery storages from the BigReam?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that question. You've already talked about batteries, but what about circular economy for the panels themselves?
Yes, this is the I think very important is to have find a way to actually managing all the the toxics of the solar panels, and also the battery storage. We actually have been investment in this how to ensure that this can be managing not only in terms of installation, but how to ensure that we can make the the sustainable way of how to decarbonize that in terms of reducing the usage of the solar panels and also the batteries. By the technology side, we actually could see the much more efficiency of the technology on both the panel itself and also in terms of battery, and how to making sure that we have the way to managing that in the long-term basis from 25 years
Yeah.
of the lifetime,
Here-
and to make it in terms of the scrapping factories that we actually
There
have
is good
been
news
also
on this
investing
front.
in.
As you rightly point out, the technologies for the panels are getting better. Panels are more durable. As well, the efficiency of the panels is increasing. And look around the corner, perovskites are coming with dramatically improved efficiencies in a few years. That would help with, again, the question of circularity. And with batteries, we see a strong push to use recycled auto batteries, which are the highest use application, to repackage them into grid-scale batteries, which is a more forgiving application. So I think we're going to find a tremendous amount of efficiency gains and circularity
Exactly.
if there's an incentive. And thankfully, the costs coming down mean we may even see market-based business models emerging in this area, which you're working on, which is a nice note to end on. So please give my speaker a nice round of applause for your inspiring thoughts. Thank you. Great to have you here. We welcome you.